Раз.
Car stopped on the right.
Тох, ты здесь?
You got it, slow car on the right. Car on your left. Clear.
Раз.
got about 5 laps of fuel.
Ну что, поехали на квалу?
That fell black flag is for us. We'd better start looking like we belong here. Get your act together. If not, we risk not being allowed to post a qualifying time. Green flag, green flag. Okay, here comes your first time lap. You've got about 2 laps of fuel left.
Привет, привет, сейчас. Если честно, пока что вообще никак. Но скоро я надеюсь, что все пойдет. Ой, плохо прошел связку. Это квалификация сейчас.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left. One more lap.
Тох, я не знаю.
There's the flag. It's over.
Слушай, ну, блядь, там что-то вообще плотно какое-то сзади уплотнение, блин. Капец. Какое-то лацло. Слушай, Валерий, ресивер, скорее всего... Я вообще хочу Лада Спорт найти, но что-то их нету. Лада Спорт нету, вот, поэтому низ на 83-х поршнях хочу. 75,6, 133 шатуны. Вот, 83-й поршня кованые сти, вот, в планах. Вот. Валы пока не знаю, надо вначале головку сделать, а потом по продувке подобрать валы. Ну, это будет в районе 10 миллиметров, мне кажется. Большие клапана хочу, вот еще что. Но не то, что не самые большие, а прям, короче, без замены седел, которые идут. Которые там немножко седла расточить, и можно ставить вот эти вот эти самые клапана. Ну, вот. Ну, посмотрим. Не знаю, пока еще вообще загадывать очень рано. Спасибо, Вась. Какой-то Лацло очень быстрый на 4-м месте.
One to go. Next time by. Line up on the left side. Pit road is closed.
Надо этого Новака хотя бы обойти. Ну, главное еще от этого Лацло защищаться. Ну, а дальше можно не париться. Там, 5-м я вряд ли стану, если только меня не выбьют. Судя по времени. Стартую еще не самой лучшей позиции. Мне больше нравится снаружи там ехать.
Catch start 15 car. Get ready, going green. flag, green flag.
Чувак на Ауди какой-то больной. Я не понял, он что там вообще в три wide ехал, что ли?
Car stopped ahead, right side. Still there, hold your line. Keep to the left. Stay on the left. Clear. Car on your left. You're on the right. 3 wide. Car on your left. 2 wide. Keep to the right. Keep to the right. Still there, hold your line. Clear on the left, right side. Still there, hold your line. Keep to the left. Keep to the left. Clear on the right. Car stop on the right. You got it, slow car on the right. Car right. Still there. Still there, hold your line. Still there, hold your line. You're on the left, 3 wide. Keep to the left.
Я нечаянно.
Clear.
Что-то там с Поршиком мы законтачились. Интересно, что теперь с максималкой будет. Точно нет повреждений? Ладно. Ой, топ, не знаю. Посмотрим сейчас. Что-то как-то не очень. Мне все-таки кажется, что немножко повреждена машина там на пару десяток.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
Просто уходит от меня.
You've got about 2 laps of fuel.
Наверное, чуть-чуть, да.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left. You just got the white flag. That means 1 more lap to go. car stops on the right. Checkered flag, checkered flag. Good job, very good job.
Сейчас посмотрим, повреждена она или нет. Во-первых, я не понял, что за старт такой прикольный. Такой резкий чувак на Ауди, пипец. Вообще он слишком резкий. Так, ладно. Тут борьба. Сейчас я хочу посмотреть на это. О! Ну да. Ну да. Есть немного, да? Непонятно, сильно это или не сильно сжирало скорость. Наверное, сжирало. По несколько десяток, наверное. Удар-то не слабый был. Об чувака. Я промахнулся. Моя ошибка, конечно. Да, я сам промазал, я знаю. Ладно, что, выхожу. Что, я еще на 11, наверное, поеду, съезжу. Сейчас пока перерыв. Ну да, Тох, так и есть. Ну я сливал, видишь. 0,4, 0,0, 0,5, 0,7. Я бы, наверное, ехал в темпе лидера, наверное. То на первом месте. А этот чел на втором месте какой-то быстрый. Хотя у него рейтинг всего 3,6. Непонятно. Ну ладно. Да, стрим оставлю.
On the exit, and you can use all the curb there. Now that's the interesting thing, and if, for those of you who are wondering and want to see where those track limits are, if you head to Twitter, with his green flag,
Away we go. Oh, he's a bit slow on the green flag there, to be honest, but the drivers are away from the line for 15 minutes of action here in your All-Stars, down towards turn number 1. And already there was somebody slow off the parade, and at the back of the field there's two spinners.
That's TK. TK had a huge amount of wheel spin off the line, and then on the cold tires, it put him 3 wide into corner 1. And I think just that wheel spin and not really being in a good position, it caught him out. So he's gone around. He's all the way down to the back.
The front 3 are trying to make a breakaway here at the moment. So Lauren Heinrich, Jordier and Quirk, they are for the front 3. And then Bolshazar's up in 4th place. He's got a bit of a queue of cars. Dan Suzuki, Matt Malone and Xavier Sanchez as well. Into the hairpin for the first time. Cold tyres, cold brakes. Got to be careful not to snatch a break here. Everybody making it through clean, and we've got 2x2 action further down. Jimmy Broadbent is one of those who's side by side, and it's Xavier Sanchez who is fighting with as well. Down into turn number 8. Tight left-hander opens up then on exit. Emily Jones is trying to work her way through as well, isn't she?
Man, oh man, super sideways coming out of there. That's where we saw her spin in qualifying as well. We're going to take a look at the replay from the start as well. As I said, huge bog down from Tony Kanaan, and that's what caused it. And I think Matthew Acker got caught up in that one as well. As we look into turn 1, TK turns in, a little bit too much curb on the inside, and then just lost the rear. Where's Matthew Acker? No, he lost it on his own. So he just went around on his own. Didn't see what caused his spin, but likely similar. And a few stragglers at the back. Emily Jones already making up positions, 9th position. So even if she's struggling with the car and doesn't have pace overall for a single lap, she's a pretty smart woman and she's pretty quick in her overall race. So watch for her to just stay consistent in this, as that seems to be the name so far. Lauren Heinrich right now out to a pretty good gap, 1.2 seconds after the first lap, despite that Honzik's trying to keep him honest.
Yeah, Jordier and Quirk both fighting. Now, they need to work together if they want any hope of trying to catch up to Lauren Heinrich here. And they're going to head on down through the Parabolica. Here's a replay from on board of Jimmy Broadbent. There's Tony Kanaan into that first corner, start sliding. And that's Jimmy, who just the slightest of taps, as Quirk on the live pictures goes deep at the hairpin, loses no, he doesn't lose a position. He keeps hold of that position, but only just.
Only just. It's interesting. His livery is just a bunch of pasted faces of, himself and his sort of meme logo. But it actually, from a distance, looks just like IHN Gouvin's Super Cup car. I don't know what that says about IHN's car, because I like the look of it, but now I'm thinking, has that ruined it for me? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's it. Now all you can see in the Super Cup is just Quirk's face.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's an image in your head. You can't get rid of that one. But right now, Lauren Heinrich is 1.8 seconds ahead of Jordier. Jordier is trying his best to catch up, and well, I mean, Lauren is such a talented driver. There's a reason why Porsche have brought him in to their stable and brought him on as a junior driver. He is just an unbelievable talent. That's not to say that the rest of our grid isn't talented. Emery up to 8th already from 16th on the grid. So that's a tremendous start to this one. Fastest lap there, Lauren Heinrich, as we see on the graphics. TK, Tony Kanaan, 14th place. He'll be a little bit disappointed with that start, but if ever there was somebody who can fight the way through, that's TK.
Yeah, experienced driver, no doubt about that. And no question, he's willing to get his elbows out. So, been watching a few of his streams. He's an aggressive dude, so we'll see what he can come up with. Again, keep in mind the draft is massive down through the parabolic and into this hairpin. So there's going to be a lot of people that are trying to leech onto that. And if they can break toe, if Heinrich gets away, you'll probably see these guys in second, third struggle to keep up with that. But the mid-pack's going to be a real battle all the way to the end.
Well, we're on board with Hydro then. This is currently 9th place then. Behind Heike 360, actually, I could tell you, looking at your timing tower on the left-hand side of your screen, Emery's dropped down from 8th down to 12th, so something's happened this lap to Emery. So she is not having a good opening round of the All-Stars. As we give you more of our Vodafone on boards, here's Heike then. Xavier Sanchez right behind, Jimmy Broadbent in front of him. So Heike will be trying his best to catch up. You can see the movement that both cars have there.
Yeah.
No, there's no help there. There's no traction control, no ABS on these cars.
And I struggle with it still because I didn't grow up necessarily on paddle shifting like a lot of the younger drivers have now, and certainly with sim as prevalent in my life when I was younger as not. Short shifting, and you see it in F1. I love that. But look at Zazo, by the way. He's always got this incredible suit. He's got the bow tie. He looks better than me dressed as you. And you dressed as you, no offense, but yeah, you know what I mean?
I said he's the most dapper man in sim racing.
Oh, he is. But no, like, I'll give you a perfect example is turn 5 at the Red Bull Ring. Big open sweeper, you go into it in third gear and you think, well, it's a big open sweeper, I can just get on the throttle. You start to lose the rear in these cars. Short shifting is basically your traction control in these Porsches. So in those, yeah, we see a slight position change in front. In those situations where you're getting that little bit of torque oversteer, you can just quick shift in these, and it actually works really well. But it's a skill you have to learn, and for me, it's a skill I have to remember because I'm so used to just using my right foot. It's actually better to short shift in these cars.
Yeah, when you've got a lead right foot like I have myself in the sim, then you need to learn how to short shift in these cars in particular. Yeah, that's Quirk then. Moving up to second place ahead of Jordier. So Jordier, he's one of the happiest people in all of sim racing, I have to say. He's always got a smile on his face, but I don't think he'll be smiling about losing second place right now, but still involved in a cracking 3-4 car battle here.
So far, yeah, these guys are all very close together, and don't rule the fact that Dan Suzuki is just behind them out of this either. He was very quick last year at multiple occasions. I think actually in Montreal, he was one of the faster guys, had a great race there. That was arguably the race of the year. Emily Jones, by the way, in that race had the pass of the year around the outside of turn 3. In Montreal, that shouldn't be possible. That was foolish. And I do believe it was Dan Suzuki that she went around. So they were good with racing room, and yeah, super solid overall. Nonetheless, though, yeah, Jimmy Broadbent, 6th position. Matt Malone just falling off that battle a little bit. But if this gets a little more desperate, if this gets a little closer together, all of those people are within striking distance of drama, shall we say.
Yeah, as we see, both Borjazazo and, well, actually, it's Borjazazo who's on the left-hand side and Jordier is on the right there. So Bolges with the little graphic there. But, yeah, the two of them, oh, there we go. We swapped them around. There we go.
They had the intro to the show wrong, too, because I'm Paul Smith, and it clearly said I was Matt Trivet, so...
Well, are we going to play this all very slowly?
Yes. I just want to point out, last year we were doing the onboard, or the what do we going to call it? The sim scrutineering. I guess that's what we'll call that session, where we talked about the rooms that the All-Stars were in and the different setups. Honzik, I think, was moving last year and had boxes everywhere. Now look at him. He's got the soundproof room. He's got the computer with all the LEDs behind him. Beautiful boom mic. My dog is even coming in with commentary at this point in time. And yeah, he looks like he's loving it.
I will say Borjazazo, though, has got a potted plant, so that's always a good thing to have here. But as they go through the final couple of corners, then through Sud Curve, once again, heading across another lap. We're past the halfway point of this opening All-Stars race. The Porsche Tagore Esports Super Cup World Championship will be coming up a little bit later on. You will not want to miss that. And of course, we've also got an announcement between the All-Stars and the Porsche Tagore Esports Super Cup races. So make sure you stick around because you will not want to miss that. But certainly right now, one man who isn't missing out is Lauren Heinrich. 4.2 seconds in the lead right now ahead of Quirk. Tyson Mayer in second place. And then Jaroslav Honzik, the man known as Jordier, 3rd place ahead of Borjazazo in 4th. Dan Suzuki is in 5th place. Now, here's a man who likes to comment about people's rooms having potted plants. I can tell you that's a fake plant. I think he bought it from a well-known Swedish retailer that does flat pack furniture. But
my favorite meatball store.
Yeah, exactly. But Gamer Muscle, he's a proficient tea drinker. I know that, so he'll have a nice fresh cup of tea alongside him as well. But do you know what? I've never actually seen him concentrate so much on a race right now.
He's got this Cobra Kai look to me right now with I can't tell if it's a beanie or if it's a do-rag or a headband, but I love it. It's you're right. It makes him look so serious.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I've met James a couple of times, and he's anything but serious, I can tell you. But as they go through, he's involved in a serious battle here because he's got Depaya, he's got Idra, and then himself here. Tony Kanaan is slowly catching up to them as well in 12th place. Worth pointing out, I've just noticed this on our timing tower. Emily Jones, Emery, is now down to 14th, so must have damage or some sort of issue.
Emily, let me peek through that as we're trying to figure that out, because incident 1x, so those are off tracks for her. So I don't see anything that indicates damage on our actual report system. However, we do know, like we said, she was struggling in qualifying. It could be a practice thing, could be something to do with this track. Who knows? But it'll make things interesting for the rest of the season, because we know how quick she can be. And we know that this will give her a kick up the backside to perhaps get motivated and get that practice time in. So, yeah, maybe just it all ran out for her. Maybe she just, that race pace kind of came undone as everyone settled into the rhythm, and she just lost the rear somewhere again, because that's basically what was happening in qualifying, is she just really couldn't keep the car tidy.
Matt Malone with a very smart livery, representing the Stars and Stripes right there as well, and a very, very nice livery, I must say.
I'm going to have to jump in with a Canadian livery and do one of these races just to counter that out. Just saying.
Well, I mean, you are talking to you're talking to somebody who actually won an all-star race in the Iracing Rallycross All-Stars. So take that, and I commentated whilst doing it as well. So double duty in that.
I'm
one.
not sure I can handle that.
Well, here we go. Here's the battle: Dan Suzuki versus Matt Malone.
If I could, by the way, it wouldn't be appropriate for broadcast commentary. Okay, let's just make that clear.
Well, look at the focus and the concentration on both of the drivers' faces here. You can see also this shows the physicality of the sim as well, because Matt Malone's webcam was just shaking itself like mad. That shows how much effort and force that they're having to put through the wheel. And it shows it's not just some people just playing video games in a bedroom or something.
Apparently his camera fell off his rig earlier too, so it probably is shaking and moving a bit more than expected. Also surprised to see he's got the vertical monitor to his right. He's not running an actual triple setup, despite what you think there. He's got his chat up on the right side, so he's hanging out with Twitch, memeing it up with the boys and the girls and everyone in Twitch. But yeah, just interesting that he's running basically the single panel in front of him, and that's what he does. I don't think, now that I've gotten used to triples, I don't know that I could go back to a single panel.
An ultra wide is a good compromise. I will tell you that.
Yeah, and I would include that as sort of the triples ultra wide. Yes, absolutely. But in this case, it's clear he's not using that. So
no, absolutely not. And he's still doing a fantastic job, and he's in 6th place right now. For the main race in the All Stars here, the 25-minute race, we do get a full inversion of the grid again. So that does mean that Emily Jones will be starting in 3rd place as things stand right now. Is this Emily gaming the system, realizing that she's not going to get to the front of this race?
I'm not convinced. Just looking at, you might be right on the damage just looking at the last lap or so, but I'm not convinced, because qualifying didn't get into time. Obviously she would have wanted to, and then a few issues in the race. So maybe just not her day at Hockenheim. But yeah, I do love this track. First corner is such a committed corner. You just chuck it in. Try not to take too much of that sausage curve on the inside. You can jump it, but there's a very fine point between getting oversteer and getting bumped around last lap, and we've got drama.
That's Jordier. Jordier's had an instant. He's dropped down to 6th place. Dan Suzuki, Matt Malone, both move forward, as does Borja Zazo. So did Zazo getting involved, and Matt Malone is making moves around the parabolica down towards the hairpin at turn 6, onto the brakes, last of the late breakers between the two of them. And Malone slots his way in between them. Now he's got to be careful on corner exit, because that's where Dan Suzuki could get the launch off of the corner. Head on through turn 7, this flat out right hand kink in towards turn 8. This is an overtaking opportunity. Malone looks safe there. I'll tell you who else is safe. Lauren Heinrich, 6.5 seconds out from.
I was worried with Malone. You can see how hot the rear brakes were heading into that left-hander in the first stadium section. I thought he was going to lose it. A little bit of oversteer, but he's held it. But you're right, Lauren Heinrich, we kind of expected it, right? He's just so composed and so far out in front. This battle's not done. This is going to go all the way.
Well, we do jump forward to Lauren because he's got one more corner to go, the Sud curve, the final corner of this track, across the line, and sees the checkered flag. A little rise of the smile there, nothing much. He knows that it's a job done, but he knows that in the second race, he's got all the work to do. Starting from the back, Quirk in second place ahead of Borja Zazo, and then we'll be able to give you all the rest of the results once everybody has completed the race here. But a good opening race here in your Porsche All-Stars, Matt, and some good action.
I'm loving the action at the end. Matt Malone just weaving through everyone that's slowing down. Why not? Just have a little fun with it. Yeah, real life, you might get a stern talking to for that, given the yellow flags would be out, but all good. No, good results. Tyson Meyer, we didn't talk much about him, but sneaks in, did very well to just keep it clean, consistent, snuck through, and Borjazo, third place. Matt Malone, though, that drama on the last lap made the difference, Paul. I said they were within distance of drama.
They certainly were, and finds himself in fourth place. And then it's Dan Suzuki and Jordier in fifth and sixth place. Then Heike 360, Jimmy Broadbent. Pierre-Olivier Valette with James West in 10th place. Rest of the results on screen here. Julien Cisbro with Tony Kanaan, what could have been starting on the front row of the grid, 12th place for him. Emily Jones, she'll be disappointed with that, down in 13th. Mathieu Vaca, Maxime, and then Althea rounding out your results here, Matt. We get a couple of minutes to just have a quick breath between the two races, but good opening first race for our All-Stars.
Yeah, I think a great opening race for this series that last year was surprisingly good. And Dan Suzuki, Mr. Racecraft, I think I dubbed him multiple times last year. You've got so much personality in this race, but yet it's so interesting when I see this in other esports. You throw the influencers together, and it's just a laugh. And it is just a laugh. But look how serious some of them are being. Oh, that's a little bit too much contact. I'm afraid it gets into the back of them. Unfortunately, they couldn't quite replicate Van Thor and Gemini to good effect there, and didn't work out for the punt that time. The push-to-pass button in the Porsche's not really paying off that time.
Yeah, front-to-rear contact is usually frowned upon by race stewards, and Borja's are just getting into the back of Jordier. But hello, everybody. Paul Smith and Sada Kist here once again for you for the All-Stars. And, well, what a tremendous opening race. We've got another 25-minute race coming up in the All-Stars. And don't forget, if you're thinking, well, this looks like a fun and looks like it should be really good to take part in, well, find out how to start your iRacing career then. iRacing.com for details. Sign up now, and there are also some deals on as well, so make sure you check that out here. We'd love to see you here on iRacing. You could end up racing against me and Matt.
I hope you don't. If you're racing against me, you're not doing well enough. Do better. No, I'm kidding. No, absolutely. It'd be a ton of fun and so much going on. I mean, it's one thing, all the officials you can do each and every day, but then I've been grinding it out, getting ready for the Bathurst 12-hour, and what a different sort of mentality of repetitive laps and stint practice. It just brings a level of seriousness to it that really makes it fun. So yeah, get on board. Tons of fun on iRacing, tons of cars. Great way to experience the racetracks around the world that otherwise I wouldn't have seen. And now I feel like I know them. They apparently think I know them because they put me here. So there you go. Point standings, Paul. I know it's race one, but we do have points for this championship. So it's going to break down accordingly. No surprise, Lauren Heinrich. Now, he's our Porsche guest driver, so likely won't be here every single week, but has the lead right now.
Certainly does. I mean, you can see towards the bottom there, Matt Campbell and Larry Tenvord. So I'm sure we'll be seeing those two Porsche drivers as guest drivers later on in this championship. So you never really pay attention to championship standings at this point. It's the opening race. We've got the main race coming up as well. And it was a good point that, just going back to about iRacing, it's a good point that you make there, Matt. Not only do you have the just the weekly races that are going on throughout every day, every hour, but every few weeks you get iRacing special events as well that you can take part in. And well, we just had the iRacing 24 Hours of Daytona, one of the highest number of drivers out there in that event.
Yeah, I think there was 18,000 plus drivers involved in that on iRacing. I know the guys that I race with were in like the 30th split, which is just goes to show you, if you're not an iRacer, the splits basically are divided based on your rating. The top split being the fastest guys, the bottom split being the lower rated guys. So the fact that there was 30 splits where I would have slotted into of people that much faster and that much more competitive is just incredible. And it makes for competitive racing all the way through. That's the beauty of the rating system, is that you don't have to be the fastest guy in the world, because you're not going to see the fastest guys in the world. You're going to see people equal to you, and that means every race should, in theory, be competitive.
Absolutely, it's a tremendous system that they have there, and it does provide you some fantastic racing. Now, don't forget, there is going to be a special announcement after our main race in the All-Stars, in the time between the All-Stars and the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup, so make sure you stick around for that, and we'll be able to give you details of what. Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Is.
I'm sitting here like, you keep talking about this. I'm like, did I miss a briefing? Like, I'm just as excited as anyone right now.
Absolutely. I mean, I certainly I know what the announcement is, but I'm keeping stum. I'm going to let our colleagues Connery and Justin be able to discuss that one in the Tag Heuer countdown. But we're getting set for the main race of the All-Stars. 25 minutes of action around Hockenheim. And, well, let's have a look at this grid. So a full inverted grid here. And it is Althea who's on pole position. Alongside her is Maxime. Then Mathieu Vaca with Emily Jones. Tony Kanaan, well, he'll be hoping for a better start this time. Alongside him, Julien. And then James West, Pierre-Olivier Valette, Jimmy Broadbent, Xavier Sanchez, Jaroslav Honzing, and Daniel Suzuki. Matt Malone, Bosch Zaza with Tyson Meyer, and Lauren Heinrich having to do the hard work from the back of the
and
grid.
the hardest part of that work, when you know you're the fast guy, you've got to be patient. Unfortunately, he's a pro. He'll know all about that. He does endurance racing. But you've got to be patient. You've got to let yourself work through and don't get caught up in anyone else's drama. Oh,
well, the green flag is out. Away we go. Slow start for Vaca from the second row of the grid. We've got drama on the starting grid as well. We've got Carson facing the wrong way. That's Jordier who's facing the wrong way. On the start straight through turn one in towards turn two now. Emily Jones already up to second place then. Tremendous launch. And Tony Kanaan is following her through as well. This could be an intriguing race-long battle between the two of those. But we're out of turn two, heading down through the Parabolica. And still, Jimmy Broadbent side by side there with Game of Muscle.
Yeah, that was an incredible amount of wheel spin off the start. Couldn't keep it straight, snuck sideways. Honzik, and I think it was... I wanted to say it was Dan Suzuki he collected, but Dan's still running P11. We're going to have more contact out of the hairpin as they get crossed over. Oh, and payback. That's not going to work. Are they going to get by? Just barely. Everyone sneaks around in the background except for one. And it's going to be a huge amount of time lost. Is he going to get going again? Yes, he's going to start. Oh, look at the damage. That's a huge amount of damage, unfortunately.
That was right.
He's sneaking around, and yeah, I doesn't even look like he's really on it at this point. That car is going to be really sore.
Yeah, that's going to be back to the pit lane and get themselves some repairs here. So they do get a fast repair here. In fact, they get more than one here. So if you can get that car back to the pits and get it fixed, it's instantly fixed here.
So here's what I was talking about, though, with the common sense of staying out of other people's dramas and just keeping clean. We know he has the pace. Maxime just gets absolutely spun into that. Was that Maxime or James West? Excuse me.
That was Maxime around.
It was Maxime. So, yeah, that was her going around. Unfortunately, a little bit of contact involved there. But I was going to point out, Lauren Heinrich, 4th place after lap 1. He's gone from 16th to 4th.
I mean, if there ever was a time to have a professional working the way through, that is exactly when all around you is chaotic. You just keep calm, keep cool, and keep collected, and just work your way through methodically, and that's what he's done. And already he's looking ahead. He's only 3 seconds behind Emily Jones, who is now your race leader, ahead of Tony Kanaan, with Althea Buck in 3rd place, and Lauren Heinrich, as you say, 4th place. We have had Jimmy Broadbent, Pierre-Olivier Valette, Yaroslav Honzig and also Matthew Vaca all on pit road to get repairs. And here's what happened then. This is Lauren Heinrich. No, it's not. Is that Heinrich?
It is Heinrich.
His.
Yeah, it's absolutely Heinrich because he's running the official Porsche livery for the 992, that RSD livery that they released the cars to the customers in. And yeah, absolutely. So he... I don't know. Do we vote on a drive-through? Can we get like a drive-through vote going? Can we be the stewards? Come on, this guy can't just run away scot-free for that.
It was, and you mentioned it though, patience. You've got to have patience when you've got drivers who aren't, you know, but with all respect to everyone out there on track, when some are faster than others, and the faster cars are driving from the back of the grid, you've got to have so much patience.
You see it even in practice sessions. Like, well, Bathurst, I'm doing stint practice and someone's doing quali practice. And it's like, I can't really let you by everywhere around this circuit. Maybe just wait a second, but they'll just run you off. Look at this battle as we jump on board with Meyer. That's a hard one to guess on the braking. A little bit of draft, which means you've got less downforce, less grip under braking, but it's also, you have to judge where the car in front of you is going to brake. I don't think there was contact there. I think it was just simply out braking themselves as, oh, he's going to try again inside the hairpin. Good run out of it. Now, you can't go too far left because if you do, the kink becomes a bit of a lift. You can lose the car with too much steering input. So both get through full throttle, but now the draft to the hairpin is what matters.
Oh, that gaggle of cars there in that mid-pack is absolutely tremendous. The way that they were all fighting over each other. There goes Quirk, Tyson Meyer to the inside of Dan Suzuki. Outbrakes himself though, and Dan Suzuki goes, all right, thanks for that, mate. I'll take that back.
Yeah, speaking of your little suggestion of strategy, by the way, maybe you were right about Emily Jones. Are you noticing anything?
Well, I mean, she's in first place. She's got the fastest lap, but she has got Tony Kanaan right there with her, and Lauren Heinrich is catching up. So, yes, it may have been a little bit of a strategic play to start yourself up near the front of the field, but when you're dragging along two highly skilled professional drivers along with you, that's going to be a tough ask to try and defend.
Now, we didn't mention it. It was a while ago. We've already seen the cars on pit road, but the meatball was thrown for 87, 64, and 9. So that's Jimmy Broadbent, DePilio, and Rye. We saw the damage on Rye. You cannot ignore a meatball. And ask me how I know that, Paul, because the most recent race I've done, I tried to. My power steering blew up, and I thought, wow, the fluid's all gone now. I'm not smoking anymore. I'll just keep going. Nah, it didn't work. Didn't work for me. Tried.
Fastest lap, Lauren Heinrich. There's Tyson Meyer, who has got a sippy cup there by the looks of things, to have his refreshing beverage of choice. Please drink responsibly, don't drink and drive, is all I would say. But I'm not saying that he is. He's got a nice, cool, refreshing
it's probably
soda.
Milk in the sippy cup.
Ah, milk.
That's a YouTube meme for anyone who's old enough to remember that one. This is going to be a move for the lead, potentially. Again, big, long braking point. Emily has to stay wide, side at the apex. Now, she's able to stay on the outside, which means she opens the corners slightly more, but TK does well to get on the power, and this becomes a bit of a game of chicken into the fast right-hand sweeper. You don't necessarily need to use all the track for the ideal line, so that gives Emily a little bit more to use on the outside of the curve without Tony necessarily taking track away, and she defends well. She looks like she's got a hold of the car this race, but again, while all of this is happening, Lauren Heinrich is closing up behind both of them.
Well, this is it. If you're too busy fighting each other, you're just going to invite others into your battle right there. And now we've got a three-way train going on. It is Emily Jones who leads this one into the Sachs curve. Right behind her is Tony Kanaan, and right behind him is, of course, Lauren Heinrich. So 3 drivers all together, all tremendously skilled in this car. Heinrich taking a little bit of a wider entry into Sud Curve, trying to run at the speed through the corner onto the start and finish straight. It's not the longest straight out there here in Hockenheim. And there, Heinrich clattering the curbs there. Look at the speed he's able to carry.
And I said it, there is a limit on that curb where if you can get the front wheels hooked on it and allow the car to rotate, it'll actually work. If you just clip it and it unsettles the rear, it's a problem. But this is interesting. Oh, he's used a lot of curb there as well because he had to. If he doesn't use all that curb, he probably has to lift in the kink, but it's the draft for TK. So even though Lauren Heinrich got the job done with that excellent run at a turn 1, Tony now has the draft, and Tony the Tiger is going to try and slip down the inside again. I think Lauren's got the braking beat, and he's going to hold on to the position. Very well done Very good braking control, I have to say, from Lauren Heinrich, who not only goes, oh, I thought he was going to try and get an overlap just on drive on Emery.
Yeah, Emily Jones almost bump drafting through towards turn 7 here. Onto the brakes for 8, and Heinrich just looks so comfortable, doesn't he? Just no effort at all. He makes it look so easy on camera. You can see Emily, she's moving about a little bit more. She's fighting that car a little bit more. She knows she's under pressure. Heinrich, it's almost like just a lion just playing with its prey out there.
I do love that we're into the 992 this year. I think it's such I know that in real life, people would say the looser, the scarier the car, the more of a driver's car it is. But in the sim, I think the 992 is so rewarding for how aggressive you can get away with it while still being on the limit. And I think the racing this year is just going to be so good. Already seeing quite a race here. No doubt Heinrich has the pace, but turn 1's tough to go for. Such a fast turn-in point. Really don't want to go too wide into it. But again, lots of curve. He's looking for that run, and he might get this done already in turn 2.
It's almost like he's trying to get car rotation not just on the flat plane, but also in the air as well by taking that curb. Look at the 3 of them almost bumping into each other there through the apex of turn 2. And then out once again through the parabolica. And they're all just, this is a big high-speed game of chess right now. It's okay, I'll defend while you attack, while you've also got to defend as well. Could we go 3 wide into the hairpin? Tony Kanaan says no. Lauren Heinrich says, I want the lead. And Emily Jones goes, not so fast. Oh, 3 wide on corner exit, are we? No, Tony Kanaan, not quite there. But Lauren Heinrich's there. He's got the outside for 7. But if he holds it there, he's got the inside for 8. Oh, you've got to have a bit of cooperation between the 2 of you. Tight apex there. Emily carrying the speed out of turn 8 though. This is tremendous stuff at the front here.
Yeah, that was awesome. And again, they're going to go side by side as we head all the way back out. This is not done yet. Tight left-hander. Now, this one, you do need all the track. You're into the old stadium section, which gets very narrow. The man with the best run on this is actually Tony Kanaan because he had the most track to use on entry, but Heinrich finally gets through, finally gets the job done. That started all the way back on the straight, the Parabolica straight, which again isn't really a straight. I know it sounds confusing, it is, but no, that was great defending in the hairpin from Emily, and it's a tough one because Lauren, she's so far to the right, it's almost a blind spot, and he doesn't really know her breaking point on that, so he had to stay wide. And yeah, we got a 3 wide moment. We had it all. We had everything, but Lauren just holding on and pinching out Emily into the stadium, keeps the car nice and controlled on the exit. Now we'll see if the draft can do anything.
Well, why don't we give you a bit of sights and sounds here as we go full throttle, powered by Buzz. That was our full throttle powered by Buzz lap then. We are watching the Porsche All-Stars main race here. Paul Smith, Matt Trivet here on commentary, and we have got a tremendous motor race coming here for you today. It's Lauren Heinrich, who started at the very back of the grid, who by the end of lap 1 made it up to 4th place. He's up into the lead right now. Emily Jones is trying to hang on to his coattails in 2nd place, and Tony Kanaan just doesn't seem to be quite hanging on quite as much to the two of them. And then we've got a bit of a scrap for 4th place. Borja Zaza, Heike 360, Quirk, and also Dan Suzuki off the back of those drivers as well. So we've got tremendous racing all the way through the field here, Matt. And certainly this is a great way to start the season.
Yeah, phenomenal way to start the season. Just to give you an indication as well, we talked a little bit about the I rating, but didn't really get into it. 8,700 I rating for Lauren Heinrich. That's higher than some of the guys we will see in PESC a little bit later on. Yes, you said it. He was a former PESC driver and raced in the Porsche Esports Super Cup that we're going to see coming up just in a little bit. But that's a super high rating, to be completely honest with you. And most of the field is quite high. I think the lowest. Interestingly, Riot, I don't know if this is an error, 1350? I think that has to be. He's got to be higher than that, surely, Paul. But, yeah, all these guys put in a ton of time on the sim, and you're seeing it now, including Tony Kanaan, who's up to a 4,000 rating now. I know these might sound like abstract numbers to you if you're not familiar with the service, but that's why you should sign up and get used to it, because it's a good little rating system. It all depends on your results, your safety rating, etc. And TK is showing some pretty good form here. He's holding on to this battle. Emily's trying desperately to stay with Lauren Heinrich, but he's now 1.2 seconds up the road. 15 places gained as we jump to the Vodafone onboard way back in the field with Book.
Absolutely. It's great to have her along here as well.
I say way back. She's in 10th position.
10th
She's not
place,
that far back at all, really.
No. And when you look at some of the drivers behind, okay, some of them got involved in instant. Maxime, Jimmy Broadbent, Jordier, you know, there's a number of drivers behind her that would have had aspirations on a higher result than this, but certainly Book doing a good job on her debut.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, didn't race at all with us last year in the All-Star Series, so good to have her on board. Last year we did have another female that's not with us this time, and I just want to give a shout out to Gabby, who's been making quite a name for herself. So far, I follow her on the Instagram, and I think I follow all these people on Instagram, all these drivers, but over in the States the last few weeks with Praga, doing some endurance racing, and I think she's won just about every race so far with them and in that car. So, yeah, she's doing a little more of the real-life stuff this year, but she was a good addition last year to the grid. It's always good to see different drivers come through that sort of, not just the YouTubers, but some real-life influence as well as diehard simmers, and get to know the personalities that I think deserve credit, right? I mean, it's not just about the esports and competition. Sim has its own community as well, and these guys have done a lot for it.
Yeah, a lot of focus is put on the pro sim racers and on those drivers who drive within a millimeter accuracy. But sim racing isn't just about those pros. It's about the community. It's about everybody who takes part in sim racing. And, you know, it doesn't matter what you compete in, what type of car or tracks that you prefer, or whether you're a dirt oval, for example. I mean, I've never done dirt oval myself, but I've heard it's an absolute barrel of laughs and really good fun here. So, you know, these you know, this is really a celebration of sim racing as a whole here with the All-Stars.
Absolutely. Dan Suzuki's on the move. Last lap, 0.3 faster than Tyson Meyer, just in front of him. So Kirk is about to get worked. We'll go with it, as he's definitely trying to track him down. Not a lot of time left in this. We've got 5 laps to go, so 2/3 of the race already done. And we haven't talked a lot about tires. The 992 and the current tire model doesn't have as much of a dramatic fall off. It definitely will be noticeable. You'll be 2 to 3, 4/10 down throughout the course of a stint. Maybe a little more for the PESC guys who are hanging it out, because they're going to be on, you know, the knife's edge. But I don't think it's quite as dramatic as it was last year with the old tire model, where there was a very clear falling point. I think the threshold and the feel and the feedback from the current tire gives you a bit more information on how to keep it within the optimal range, whereas last year, yeah, you could really struggle. So even though there's 5 laps left, these guys should still have a little bit left to go on the attack, as long as they haven't been too ambitious with the throttle.
Well, here's somebody who's had a tough time of it here in this All-Stars race. DePayo down there in 15th place. He's busy talking to his stream as well. and enjoying himself out there. And well, it's not the race that you would have wanted here in this main race, but you can see a car down the road there. So and it's going slowly as well. So the 15 car having issues out there.
Ah, you're right. It is the 15 car. I thought it was going to be Jimmy Broadbent, but it is. I'm looking at Jordier on the timing screen. So yeah, he is catching slowly at this point in time, but still a position to be had. Little battle to be had between them. Always a bit of fun.
Well, look at this. Dan Suzuki putting the pressure on Quirk right now. This battle for 5th place. They've allowed Paul Zaza to pull out a 1.2 second lead between the two of them. So Quirk, Dan Suzuki, they're scrapping it out here. And Suzuki, he wants by. He wants to get by. But Quirk, he's a hard charger. He's somebody who will put up a hard defense out there.
Yeah, and keep in mind, he's up quite a few spots this race. As I just looked, 10 spots this race as he started second last. Finished second in the first race. We said it was an understated second. We didn't talk about it a lot more toward the end because he was just quietly going about business and got the job done pretty early on. But definitely a hard charger. We'll see if he has anything left against Dan Suzuki. The purple highlight on the timing tower on our left-hand side, just so you know, is for the fastest lap of the race, and there is an additional point gained for that. So worth noting that it's even if you're down the order and you think you've got some pace, charge on, make up some points where you can. This year in F1, I know it, whatever. You can have your opinions. I don't want to get into that, but it was interesting to see with the close championship that it was the first time we saw the fastest lap start to become a real priority, and using second drivers to try and steal it away if the top driver wasn't in a position. And it just goes to show like every point counts in a championship is where I'm going with this. So yeah, kind of cool that they're bringing that over here, and right now Lauren Heinrich has it.
Yeah, he certainly does. And I mean, it's an incredible drive. I mean, we do expect it to a degree for somebody who used to race in the Porsche Taycan Esports Super Cup to be able to work your way through the field and get to the front. I mean, it's 3.6 seconds, 3.7 seconds
well, we're gonna
in
look
front. And wow, this is a unique look, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Iracing Guvin's, Kick Kirk's team for the All-Star race. No, it's just the black and gray overlapping, but I do love it. It's just his face over and over and over. I think that should be the new Kappa logo, in my opinion. Should we do a jelly bean contest? How many faces are on the livery, and the closest guest wins?
And what do they win, Matt? Nothing. The
respect
of everybody. The respect of everybody else in knowing how many.
You put me on the spot, all right? Don't do that. You get your iRacing subscription paid for 2 months by me, because I'm the one putting myself on the spot for that.
Well, there we go, folks. Get your guesses in. Let's whilst you're doing that, you can also go and log on to iRacing.com if you are watching this and thinking, well, I want to try my hand at iRacing. Get yourself online, iRacing.com, for details of how to join this tremendous community and get yourself involved in some hard-fought racing.
Here's something I thought of the other day in looking at liveries and things. We are in the sim world. Why can't we have GIFs on the liveries? I mean, maybe it's too much for graphics cards, but hear me out, right? Because we have the LED lights. This is gonna be a good drafting point. So just get excited in your own here for a second. Yeah, the art engineers would kill me. Get the inside line here. Kicker's gonna go wide to try and open up the corner so we can still get a drive on the exit, but it's gonna be tight between him and Dan Suzuki, who gets a little bit too much drifting. So I think the run goes back to Kicker. But picture this, right? Because you could have these cool animations like flames and stuff, but what if his face, if there was contact, went from him just being stone face like that to it's like a reaction face? Or if he's winning, it's just all smiles or something, right? Like that, why not? Why not?
Do you have the Nyan cat going down the door sill or something?
Yeah, and it's waving the whole time. Exactly. Man, come on, let's go. That has to be the future of sim racing, is GIF liveries.
Well, there you go. There's a challenge for the art team to try and get that optimized. But as we get into this, by the way, that is not a feature that's coming to iRacing soon. That is not.
Yes, it is.
Happening.
I'm going to make it happen. No, it's not. It's definitely not. Before I get fired for putting them on the spot, it's not, okay?
3 minutes remain in this race. We've got 2 more laps here. And yeah, the gap at the front is up to 5 seconds. Emily Jones has got about a 1.5 second gap over her and Tony Kanaan. So really, it's this battle here that we've been looking at, and also Borja Zaza putting the pressure on Tony Kanaan as well. So we've got a battle for 3rd and a battle for 5th going on. And there you see that battle for 5th in that bottom right-hand box right now. And, well, Zaza just not quite close enough, but he's got time here, and about a lap and a half.
Lap and a half. But 5-second lead for Heinrich. The rest of it's kind of close. Tony Kanaan still holding on, but it's going to be so tight. Zaza, you're right, just continuing to close in, getting closer and closer to that draft as well. Just looking at incident points, if I can do the math, I think Quirk might be kind of close at this point. Heinrich just got an off-track incident on lap 14. First I've seen him pop up in recent time. I take that back. He had one on lap 12 as well. But yeah, there's a few people here with the contact early on. It's going to be a bit tight.
There you go on board then with Borja Zaza as he's coming in to Sap's Curve. Once again, the penultimate time around here. Of course, this is the old stadium section that's been here for, well, as long as I can remember it, that's for sure. Through the final 2 corners, through the Sud Curve, and then we are starting the final lap of our All-Stars race. Make sure you stick around at the end of this one, because we will have our thoughts of our drivers out there that have been racing here in this All-Stars race. And then, of course, we have got the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup coming up as well a little bit later, along with an announcement coming forward. And Borja, he did that in race 1. He's done it again in race 2.
Yeah, that was a bit of letting off the brake a bit early in the midpoint of the corner. Letting it roll a little too much. That's going to put TK down 3 positions. Presumably, he's going to be running the entire time in this championship. Now, Quirk has apparently 1x left in this race, so he can't defend super hard. And Suzuki is going to try and go up the inside again. He's locked it himself. That's going to give TK a chance to get a position back, potentially. But you can see how wide both times Quirk was going on that defense, because if he even gets touched, even though it's not his fault, he could be in a DQ situation. So has to be very careful. Fortunately for him, this is the final lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And time is... Oh, Tony just running wide through 8. Time is running out for Dan Suzuki, and the opportunities to overtake are running out, as well as they're heading in to the stadium section for the final time in this race. But one man who has certainly had it all pretty much his own way in this race. Here he is, Lauren Heinrich, through the Sud Curve for the final time. He's going to see that checkered flag, give us a bit of a drift. He does that onto the gravel. And, well, there's no change in emotion on his face. I was hoping he was going to be a bit more happier than that. Emily Jones is going to finish in 2nd place. And here's that battle for 4th place. It's going to be won by Tyson Meyer. Quirk doing a superb job bringing that car across in 4th place. But Tony Kanaan, he will be spitting feathers at Borja Zaza, and I think he's let him know what his feelings are on that.
Yeah, pulled over in front of him. Maybe a little bit disappointed with that maneuver, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see if there's any scrutineering involvement on that one after the fact. Few hits. I mean, you go back, we talked about it on, what was it, lap 3 or 4. Lauren Heinrich did the same to Maxime, so it's not like he's is entirely clean in this race, but good start to the season. I love that we break in the audience with these guys on track.
Yeah, it always produces some tremendous action once again. Well, let us head on over then to the Buzz post-race show here, and we will get you your results up on screen momentarily. But that was certainly an exciting race. Lauren Heinrich then did the last to first challenge and gets himself another win and fastest lap in that race ahead of Emily Jones in 2nd place. Borja Zaza, controversial 3rd place for him, ahead of Tyson Meyer and Dan Suzuki. As the standings just update a little bit there as well. And, well, it's Heike 360, 6th place ahead of Matt Malone. Gaming Muscle in 8th place, James West, with 9th place there for Althea Book, with Jimmy Broadbent rounding out the top 10. Rest of your standings there, and Tony Kanaan is actually being classified.
Back.
So he must have had a penalty on that final lap that he did not serve.
I'm just looking through to see if that was the case. Yeah, he might have got a
slowdown penalty. He might have
slow
just
down, or maybe a drive-through on
drive-through,
X's. I'm trying to see exactly where it was, because I don't know where I would have seen a slowdown come from him. I didn't see him cut anywhere on the corners. He went wide in the arena section, but that was all I did see from it. But yeah, I'd have to go back and do some math on the early X's. There was a lot of them in this race for me to scroll through. So interesting. Yeah, he gets classified far down the order, and that contact may have done it. We said that, Quirk was very close as well. Anyone else even hits him, and he's going to be in that situation. So maybe that's also why Tony was so upset at the end and, gesticulated with his car movement. But here is the points. Lauren Heinrich, unbeaten on the day.
And look at that battle for second place. Borges up and Quirk both fighting it out for that second place at the end of this first week. Dan Suzuki, fourth ahead of Emily Jones. Bit of a recovery drive for Emily then to get herself back up into fifth place in the championship to defend her championship here. Matt Malone sixth ahead of Hiker 360, and then the rest of the standings are there up on screen. Oh, we could get our breath here, Matt, because that was tremendous, and hopefully in a few minutes time we'll also get to hear from some of our drivers.
Yeah, I just want to point out as well, with Matt Campbell coming into this a little bit later on, also someone who raced in the Virtual Le Mans this year, obviously was involved in the FAF winning car at Daytona, full factory driver, and a proper sim racer. But Larry Ten Voorde is going to be very interesting, because most people would argue that his experience in a Porsche Cup car, he is probably the fastest driver in the world. He's so familiar with this machinery. So it'll be interesting to see how it translates to sim for him. And I've not seen him do too much sim myself, so it'll be fun to have him on board as well, and just be able to pick his brain on the car and the model. And don't forget as well, I know there's some people in the chat itching for it. Yes, our Porsche East Up Sports Super Cup is coming up very soon, and we'll get back into another season, the fourth season of the championship. As Paul, this is just going to be a great day, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully, first of all, we'll get to hear the thoughts of our race winner then, Lauren Heinrich, and he's standing by with yourself there, Matt.
Yes, thank you very much, Lauren. How are you? I saw you very briefly in Gronau. You've been a busy man this year, coming back from Dubai, straight into the sim, second place in that race, the Virtual Le Mans, and now you're here doing some all-star stuff. Pretty busy schedule now that you're a junior.
Hi guys, yeah, I'm fine, thank you. As you say, it's quite stressful. Yeah, a lot of events, a lot of races, but I enjoy it a lot, especially in the winter now. I can race a bit more in the simulator, which I really enjoy. And also thank you a lot to Porsche for this invite to this event, because it was just unique. I mean, imagine racing Tony Kanaan was something really special for me, and I think for everybody in this race.
Yeah, and I know when I was in Gronau and I was asking people, and I mentioned this on broadcast as well, I was saying, is it a worry that you guys are, everyone's here, all the data's here, the team's here, and you're off in Dubai practice time, and they all went, no, this guy's faster than us potentially in sim. And you've obviously raced in PESC. You got over 8,000 I rating. This must have been a bit easier than perhaps some of the other races you've done. But how's the 992 compared to the 991 in iRacing?
It may have looked easy, but it was not. I mean, you can see I'm sweating, so I was still pushing. And yeah, coming to a question, the 992, I think it's really well made. I think it's really close to the real car. It's even closer to the real car than the 991 was. So I'm really happy, because it's for me a really good tool to prepare for my real races. And I think just how the car is right now is really close to be perfect. And especially on a track like Hockenheim, where I've driven that car also in real life, is where I can see many parallels between the virtual and the real world.
I don't want to get too much into your schedule yet, because I know some of the stuff going on behind the scenes, but some of it can't be fully talked about. But what do we expect to see from you over the winter with sim? Is there going to be any official races, or are you going to do more of this stuff with us? What's your plans?
Now for the winter, I'm planning to do the Bathurst 12 hour next week, so I'm really looking forward. And that's the closest race as of now. And then after, I just have to see what's coming up. And I hope also that the real racing will start soon again.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I hope it does too. I think we're in for a good season. I'm loving the 992 so far in the sim and in the real world. It's looking awesome. So best of luck. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on a double win. Pretty solid performance.
Thank you.
Very cool. Paul, as we get to pick the brains of a Porsche Junior this year, Lauren Heinrich, very fast individual. Like I say, even the Pro Sim guys say like he is on it. He can beat anyone on the day, no question about it. So definitely one I hope we get to see more of this season. But right now, we've got to talk to second place in this race, champion from last year. But Emily Jones, I'm going to pick on you a little bit. What happened in qualifying? What happened in race one?
A series of errors. Some of them I'm going to blame on my sim rig, but some of them I should probably just blame on myself as well. It's early in the morning, and sometimes you wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm awake. Let's go racing. And then sometimes you wake up and you're like, I don't want to be awake right now.
That's me every day.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I had one of those days today. So I was just really rattled, and in qualifying, I was just like, I was a bit off the pace, so I was pushing so hard I didn't put a lap down because I was just tilted. And then in race one, I actually had a shifter disconnect, so my shifter disconnected, and I got stuck in fourth gear, and then I couldn't do much from there.
Yeah, both shifters, like you couldn't downshift either.
Yeah,
I guess, but you wouldn't want to because then you'd be stuck in a lower gear.
Exactly, yeah. So it disconnected. It was like, it's kind of intermittent. So it was like cutting in and out for about a lap or so. Luckily, it was on an upshift. So I kind of got stuck pulling gears up. Sometimes it happens on downshifts, and it's like, you can't downshift. It's scary.
Yeah, it sounds similar to Rudy Van Buren's issue in the virtual Le Mans, which he was saying was not ideal, imagine. But you got it sorted for race 2 and back to normal for you. Pretty solid result behind a guy who's very quick in sim, Lauren Heinrich. But yeah, good start for the championship, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. Lauren's so fast, pro driver himself, pro sim racer. Like he is incredibly fast, and following him was very difficult. That was like, honestly, out of all the races I've done, I think that second I worked really, really hard for. Like my pace was really not good compared to the other cars. I think TK was faster than me, but he kind of made some mistakes. So I was pretty lucky to get second, I think, at the end of the day.
Whatever. Race pace is everything. You held it together. It's good to have you back this season as well.
Two of them. So Quirk, Dan Suzuki, they're scrapping it out here. And Suzuki, he wants to get by. But Quirk, he's a hard charger. He's a hard for Dan Suzuki, and the opportunities to overtake are running out as well as the heading in.
Gear, and then I couldn't do much from
time. This was great. That first race,
as some people call him.
Still support each other. They still work together. And driving all the way from Australia, he was in Germany for that virtual Le Mans, and done a lot of travel already this year for Sim. Looking super solid. And there's the man I mentioned.
Second place at Monza at the end of the season. So Collins, we know he's got the pace. It
could have been a lot worse down the
Side to side. Keep to the left. Clear. You've got about 5 laps of fuel. Green flag, green flag. You have about 2 laps of fuel left. Okay, here comes your first time lap. You have about 1 lap of fuel left. There's the flag. It's over.
Слушай, ну погода 23-23. Я особо не мог настроить. Чувак сзади с 2,4К рейтинга. Проехал примерно как я, блин.
One to go. Next time by. Line up on the right side. Pit road is closed. Catch up, 16 car. Catch up, 26 car. About to go green. Stay focused. Green, green, green. Left side. Clear. You got a slow car on the right. Right side. Still there, hold your line. Clear on the right. Left side, clear. Right side, clear.
Что это за пиздец, блядь? Тот самый чувак с 2.4 харизмы.
Right side. Keep to the left. Clear on the right. Left side. Still there. Still there. Clear. Car on your left. Clear on the left. Right side. Still there, hold your line. Clear on the right. Left side. Clear.
Какие-то вообще нубы, если честно. Блять, я не понимаю, как он квальнулся на десятку хуже меня, этот чел. Передо мной, я еще не понял.
You're in fourth position.
Блядь, только походу он Hyundai брать. Он так хуёво едет по траектории вообще в целом. И он, блядь, сука, едет с маленькой.
car right. Stay on the left. Clear. Car on your left. Clear.
Я вообще не понял, что он с этим рейтингом тут делает. Как он в принципе-то оказался в начале пелотона?
Back in third. Keep hustling.
Ну, вроде немножко оторвался.
You've got about 5 laps of fuel.
Нормально у них там возня.
got about 2 laps of fuel.
Я подвывалился. You have about 1 lap of fuel left. White flag, white flag. Car stop on the right. Checkered flag, checkered flag. Да, на старте он, конечно, блядь, вообще красавчик. Смотри, что он делает на старте, да, этот чувак. Ну ладно, здесь еще более-менее. Тут он пытается. Ну, нормально здесь проехал, да. А вот дальше там пиздец какой получился. Взял мне, въебал в жопу, блин. Вот здесь что сейчас будет, интересно? Как это назвать? Пипец, да? Еще чувак. Посрусь, чувак. Пиздец, чувак, блядь. Такой вообще он стрёмный. Вот тут он вот с чуваком, да, вот они вышли. Они вот вышли, тут чувак широко вышел, а этот, блядь... Пиздец. Лезет во все щели, короче. Короче. Короче, как-то так гоночка зашла. Третий приехал. Все, больше не будет, короче, Сильверстоуна. Слава богу. Не могу сказать, что я кайфанул вообще с этой недели. Давай, Тох. Ладно, всем пока. Сейчас посмотрим, что там насыпали нам. Ну, короче. $25. Бля, мне скоро лицензии лишат. Надо что-то это почище ездить с автреками. Ну ладно, будет сейчас неделя батерства, там много инков не наберешь. Все, всем пока.